So what it takes to build a brand?
So it has to be true to the customer. If customer understand that कि आप क्या offer कर रहे हो और उससे वो relate कर पा रहा है तो वो brand बनेगा.
You've created a great product, you've done a research. How do you really market your brand?
You are lonely at the top. That is there. I mean, that is still there. I would not say, I don't deny it.
हर entrepreneur को investment के लिए strive करना पड़ता है.
आपकी जो personal finances हैं और वो company की जो finances हैं वो अलग होनी चाहिए. I personally took this decision that even during the COVID period, we will not retrench a single person. Throughout the COVID, there were many moments where, let's say, I felt helpless. मुझे लगता था कि अगले महीने हम पे कैसे करेंगे. Stress comes from the point where, let's say, आप कुछ कर नहीं पाते.
You might look very nice, simple, down to earth, but if somebody pokes you, you're gonna hit them hard.
Fear of failure. Scared to take risks. But here is the truth. There is nothing called as fear of failure. It's not real. It is a story you tell yourself. Every successful CEO failed multiple times before winning. And here is how you can flip it too. Instead of, what if I fail? Ask, what if I learn? Second, the 10-second rule. Imagine the worst case scenario. Now, reframe it as an opportunity. Action over perfection. Your biggest failure is not trying. Yes, you heard me right. So go ahead and take the first action. Comment, I'm ready to release the fear of failure. And share it with someone who needed this today.
Today, we are meeting a guest who has an amazing story to share with us. From humble beginnings to disrupting the industry. His journey is a masterclass in resilience, strategy, fearless success and entrepreneurship. Today, we dive into the defining moments, hard lessons and bold moves that built Urban Tribe into a lifestyle brand it is today. So let's welcome Chandan Sawera, the man behind the brand and the founder of Urban Tribe.
Thank you for having me here and and good to go. Yeah.
You're very much welcome and we're happy to have you with us on this show. And the reason of having this talk show with me, I'm the host of this show, Sneha, Karwat. The reason behind this show is that we want our audiences to not only know about you, your journey, but your highs and lows. Like in business, our meetings, we talk about highlights and lowlights, and without both, there is not a success.
Yeah.
Right? So we want like a key takeaway when the audience listens to this podcast. The key takeaway should be your journey, your highs, your lows, your successes, your wins, and how did you build this brand. So चलिए शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. Before the brand, before having established this successful brand, before Urban Tribe, who was Chandan Sawera?
Yeah, obviously I have spent a long journey here to come here, building the brand Urban Tribe. Basically, I am from Bihar. मेरा पहला 10 साल जीवन का एक स्मॉल विलेज में बीता है जो कि दरभंगा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है. वो 10 साल वहाँ बिताने के बाद मैं I have moved to Muzaffarpur and from Muzaffarpur I studied. And in 12th, by competitive exam, I chose to go to NIT Surat, which is engineering college. From there, I went to Godrej as a software engineer. Didn't enjoy the COBOL coding and all, so I left that and went to MDI Gurgaon, which is one of the premium institute in the country for MBA. And from there, my journey for retail and the brand started. My parents are still there in Bihar itself. They are teachers. So I come from a family where nobody has ever done any business per se. After MDI, I got into Shopper Stop. And that's where, let's say, retail journey started. Shopper Stop, I spent about 4.5 years handling 200 brands there. And after that, I moved to Portico, which is a home furnishing brand. While it was only 1 year old in the infancy, and we took on, let's say, the giants of the category, which is like Bombay Dyeing, Wellspun and stuff like that. And happy to say that we created, in 6 years, we became the number 2 across the country. And in the large format stores, we were by far the number 1. From there, I moved to Future Group, and I was part of Planet Sports, where I was heading few brands like Converse, Amro, Champion, Wilson and Spalding. And yes, entrepreneur bug was always there inside me. तो कुछ ना कुछ करना था, कुछ world class international, कुछ standard का कुछ बनाना था. I thought कि एक life मिली है तो कुछ तो करके जाएंगे. So that's when, let's say, it was always there for few years, always toying with the idea कि क्या करना चाहिए. And that's when I started this company and the brand. So here I am. And it's been 8 to 9 years that we are in operation in Urban Tribe. Happy to say that we have almost about 200 people working with us. and we've created one of the kind of loved brand in our category, which is luggage and travel accessories.
So you come from a family जो आपने बताया completely service background, you know, nobody being an entrepreneur. Was it difficult to get, I mean, I really want to know because there's so many people who aspire to become an entrepreneur. Where was that kicking point which told you that, you know, that's it, I want to become an entrepreneur? And second, was it really difficult to become an entrepreneur?
It's a very interesting question, and I think that when I dwell upon it, मुझे लगता है कि entrepreneur जो बनते हैं, somebody who doesn't come from that background, जो कि industrial background नहीं है, उनको industry background से हैं तो उनको industry चालू करनी है. But somebody like us or somebody, lot of people who are in the corporate world, उनको थोड़ा crazy होना पड़ता है. I mean, they don't think about consequences. If you think too much about consequences, probably आप start नहीं करोगे. Because too much of risk, obviously. I mean, and odds are not in your favor. तो obviously मैंने ऐसा सोचा नहीं कि इतनी तकलीफ आएगी, इतनी परेशानियाँ होंगी. That's why I should do it or I should not do it. I had to do it, I did it. And I think probably that is true for most of the entrepreneurs who are not from the background. So I probably represent the people who are, as you rightly pointed out, from service background, somebody who is from service background. Still my parents and everybody in the family thought of what I'm doing, and I have a very, very good corporate life.
Yeah, stable life.
Yeah, stable corporate life. I was heading brands, and internationally I was moving around here and there. But obviously, I didn't think about from the toughness point of view. I just thought I had to do it and did it.
So you jumped into it.
I jumped into it. Obviously, there was some bit of planning that went into it, but I didn't overthink about not doing it and why to do it. I just thought probably I have it in me, और वो किक था कि कुछ तो कर जाएंगे, ये करना चाहिए हमें. राइट अपॉर्चुनिटी आई और एक टाइम था कि अरे अभी नहीं तो कभी नहीं, काइंड ऑफ दैट सेट्स इन. सो प्रॉब्ली दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्ली exemplifies lot of entrepreneurs.
So is it like a calling which says somewhere that, you know, I'm meant for it, I want to go for it? Because many times we get this conversation happening in our head, but बहुत बार some people take it up, some people just lose it.
एक्चुअली यू आर राइट. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आप कुछ करना चाहते हैं लाइफ में और एक मोमेंट आता है, एंड इट्स अ रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी ऑल्सो. आई मीन सम पीपल आर एबल टू टेक रिस्क. यू हैव अ फैमिली, यू डोंट नो हाउ लॉन्ग इट विल वर्क. और परसेंटेज वाइज भी एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आर वो 10% या 5% सक्सेसफुल होते होंगे. बट इट्स द रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी. आई मीन आप में वो रिस्क एपिटाइट होनी चाहिए. ओबियसली इट हैज़ टू बी बेटर प्लान्ड. अभी मुझे लगता है कि धीरे धीरे इकोसिस्टम slightly better होता जा रहा है. But I would not say it's whether in it you or not is probably मुझे लगता है मैं थोड़ा सा रिस्क एपेटाइट थोड़ा ज़्यादा था. एडवेंचर करने का लाइफ में थोड़ा ज़्यादा था. मैंने यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम, मैंने एक गांव देखा है जहाँ पे कि आई एम सेइंग आई लव माय विलेज. मैं अभी भी जाता हूँ तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बिकॉज वहाँ का लाइफ शायद सबसे अच्छा रहा होगा शायद. मैं अभी अगर मैं डिफाइन करूँ उस तरह से तो मैं वहाँ से फिर एक छोटे शहर मुजफ्फरपुर में आया. मुजफ्फरपुर से फिर सूरत गया ऑन माई ओन. फिर ऑन माई ओन आई वाज इन बॉम्बे. फिर बॉम्बे में सेटल किया. Nobody was here, my family में nobody, and obviously and that's the story for a lot of people. तो मुझ में वो risk taking ability, appetite थी. ability तो नहीं बोलो, appetite थी. So I jumped into it.
Why bag? Because आपने Godrej में काम किया, Portico में किया, and you said Future Group, you know, none of them are directly associated to bag as such.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this as a category?
इसके पीछे obviously because I'm a marketing person, a retail person. And I'm an engineer also, तो थोड़ा बहुत mathematics समझ में आती है. I'm probably I'd say that I slightly better at trend spotting. तो मुझे I understand footwear, I understand apparel. और वहाँ पे अगर आप देखने जाएंगे footwear and apparel में lot of brands are there. To make a dent in that market, it would have been difficult. I would say that कि थोड़ा odds हमारे favor में नहीं होता और या बहुत सारा capital लगता तो तब जाके नाम बना सकते. अगर आप अपैरल में देखेंगे, फुटवेयर में देखेंगे, बहुत सारे लोग हैं. जबकि ये लगेज और जो ट्रैवल एक्सेसरीज के कैटेगरी में नंबर ऑफ ब्रांड्स आर फ्यू एंड फार बिटवीन. और चूंकि मुझे ब्रांड चालू करना था इसलिए नहीं कि मैं बहुत सारा पैसा कमाऊँ, बिकॉज ओबियसली अपैरल का सेल बहुत बड़ा इंडस्ट्री है जिसमें कि थोड़ा भी करेंगे तो आपका शायद बिजनेस बहुत ज़्यादा जाएगा. लेकिन मुझे ऐसा चीज़ बनाता जो कि इट मेक्स अ डिफरेंस इन द लाइफ ऑफ द पीपल हु यूजेज इट. Yeah, in the industry, somebody said, "Ha, this is different. This is something that new that you brought." I was not very sure that obviously some people will come and do something about the apparel and footwear, but I was not sure that what difference that I can bring to that industry. So that's why I chose this. Another reason to choose this because the industry एक अच्छे मुकाम पे था जहाँ कि ये ग्रो कर रहा था। जैसे मैंने देखा था कि फुटवेयर इंडस्ट्री में आज से 20-25 साल पहले अगर आप सोचेंगे तो सर 2 पेयर ऑफ फुटवेयर सही था हमारे लिए, हमारे उसमें हमें कोई आनाकानी नहीं होती कि हम पावर जॉगर पहन के पार्टी में जा सकें या खेलने चले जाएं। वो जूता काफ़ी होता है, या ब्लैक शू हम किसी के साथ भी ऑफिशियल में जा सकें। बट आज के दिन में अगर आप देखेंगे कि तो आपका शू को वार्डरोब जो है, even if you don't have a shoe fetish, you will have 10-12 pair of footwear. Easily. I'm not talking about the ladies, जिनका के दुपट्टा से मैच होना चाहिए तो सर 20-30 हो जाते हैं और हर 6 महीने में वो बदलता है। That's why you see that कि फुटवेयर इंडस्ट्री में बहुत सारे ब्रांड जो हैं कि आज के दिन में हजार करोड़ के, not only Nike and Adidas, there are a lot of other brands also which is quite big actually. Similar thing has happened and is happening in the luggage and travel accessories industry. अगर आप देखेंगे बैकपैक का एक उदाहरण देखेंगे तो आज से 10-15 साल पहले एक ताबू था, माने सब लोग यूज़ नहीं कर रहे थे बैकपैक, केवल स्कूल के बच्चे ही यूज़ करते थे। तो धीरे धीरे एक कंधे वाला हम लैपटॉप बैग यूज़ करना चालू किए, फिर बैकपैक भी हम एक कंधे पे चलने।
मैक्सिमम सेल्स पीपल यूज़ करते होंगे
ये। और आज के दिन में अगर आप जाएं कहीं पे भी किसी ऑफिस अरेना में जाएं या आप रोड पे सामने जाएं, चाहे बाइकर हो, चाहे कोई ऑटो से जा रहा है, चाहे बाइक से जा रहा है या कार से जा रहा है या कार खरीद कोई भी हो, एवरीबडी इज यूजिंग द बैकपैक। सो दैट्स द चेंज दैट हैज कम। ऑल्सो अगर आप देखेंगे तो हर ओकेजन के लिए आपको अलग बैग चाहिए, वीकेंड के लिए अलग बैग चाहिए, ऑफिस के लिए अलग बैग चाहिए, अगर आप हॉलीडेज के लिए जा रहे हैं तो अलग बैग चाहिए। तो वो भी बहुत चेंजेस आए। तो वो मैं देख रहा था कि इस इंडस्ट्री में इतने सारे चीज़ पॉजिटिव हैं जहाँ की कि हम अलॉन्ग विद द टीम वी कैन मेक अ डिफरेंस। सो दैट्स व्हाई आई जंप्ड इनटू इट।
So when you started your journey, were you like single all alone handling it?
No, so I had a partner along with me, but after a year of operations, he met with an accident. But he's actively not participating in the company. So after that, I've been all alone, kind of taking care of the company.
And you know, usually जब business start करते हैं, investment of course चाहिए होता है. Lot of salaried people, what I have understood कि वो अपने savings से start करते हैं बिल्कुल, and then eventually you look for funds. And how was your journey in getting, if it was your funds or if it was your saving, how did you manage your basically money?
So initially ऐसा ही था कि हमने अपने सेविंग से स्टार्ट किया कंपनी और उसको 2 साल तक चलाया। बट आई एम फॉर्चुनेट दैट वी गॉट वेरी गुड पार्टनर्स आफ्टर दैट, इन्वेस्टर्स एंड आई विल से देयर पार्टनर्स ओनली इन द जर्नी, and they have been supportive, very supportive, and they have been all along, I mean, with us. After the journey, the 3 years of journey in the company, they have been part of the company. So 2 साल 3 साल हम अपनी but क्या होता है कि आप if you are able to create a value, the people are there to kind of go along with you. पहले 2-3 साल तो obviously हमने अपने जो हमारी सेविंग थी उससे हम आगे बढ़े।
So we go back to the question on investment. हर entrepreneur को investment के लिए strive करना पड़ता है, और what is the process behind if you're starting a business, especially for people like you जो job करके अपना business start करें? What is something that you would like to advise these entrepreneurs who are starting now?
से इसमें मैं 1-2 एडवाइस obviously मैं 8 साल से इसमें हूँ, तो obviously मैं जॉब से आया हूँ, तो मेरे है एडवाइसेस एंड उसमें ओबियसली पर्सनल लाइफ एक है और जो कॉर्पोरेट आई मीन आपकी जो एंटरप्रेन्योर जर्नी है वो थोड़ी सेपरेट होनी चाहिए। अदरवाइज़ अननेसेसरली आपके जो फैमिली में जो स्ट्रेस आएगा वो आपको काम पे भी अफेक्ट करेगा। इफ़ यू आर एबल टू सेफ गार्ड योर फैमिली इन टर्म्स ऑफ विथ योर ओबियसली यू विल रिक्वायर सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, इफ दैट इज़ काइंड ऑफ टेकन केयर ऑफ, इट इज़ फार बेटर scenario than just jumping into it and saying कि हो जाएगा, कर लेंगे, देख लेंगे and leaving the family at its own kind of fate। तो मेरा एडवाइस रहेगा कि आप अपनी फैमिली के लिए जो फाइनेंसेस हैं एटलीस्ट फॉर 2 to 3 years आपको करना ही करना चाहिए, और आपकी जो पर्सनल फाइनेंसेस हैं और वो कंपनी की जो फाइनेंसेस है वो अलग होनी चाहिए। एट टाइम्स वी काइंड ऑफ obviously because you are so over invested in your I'm not saying only money wise but mentally and everything, and you want it to succeed at any cost, तो आपका जो पर्सनल भी होता है वो इसमें मिक्स हो जाता है, जो कि सर सही चीज़ नहीं है फॉर बोथ ऑफ द थिंग्स, इवन फॉर योर फैमिली एंड योर फैमिली वेलबींग और कंपनी के वेलबींग के लिए भी सही नहीं है। बोथ हैज़ टू स्टैंड ऑन देयर ओन फीट एंड इट विल डू इफ यू आर वाइज अबाउट इट।
So usually now, the data says that 90% of entrepreneurs lose their business in the first 2 years.
Yes.
Because there are moments where they're like, "Bas hua, I need to go back what I was doing," or probably they would plan B, even if it wasn't there on the radar. Was there a moment for you in the first 2 years specifically where you felt ki, oh, this is not working, or there's too much that I've taken? Any, low point that did not really help you?
I would say that I never ever had that thought that I should go back to my corporate life. Primarily because that I had the conviction that the thought behind the brand that we are building is there for ages actually. The concept behind is for the ages. So I never ever had that thought. Even during the COVID time, which is, as you can understand, सब घर पे थे और ये हमारा चीज़ घूमने के लिए. So nobody was buying from us. But still in that 2 years and after that for another year, because aftermath of not having enough business for 2 years kind of dents the business going further also. Even there also I never thought that I should shut it down and go back to corporate life. So never ever had that thought.
And I also believe you all paid salaries without letting anyone go during the COVID times.
Yes, so that has always been kind of our belief in the company, that we'll take everybody along. Everybody is a stakeholder, be it employee, obviously the investors, and everybody is the stakeholder in this company. And we have to take care of them. If we take care of them, they will take care of the company. So I along with, I personally took this decision that even during the COVID period, we will not retrench a single person. And we have gone out of the way to help people out in terms of any difficulty that they had. I have one or two examples where, let's say, my tailor masters had gone through the injury and they had surgery. We had covered them with a mediclaim, but it only covered a certain amount. But beyond that, we had to take a call whether we go beyond our policy or not. And we have gone beyond the policy, and 5 times more than what he was covered for. We paid for it without knowing that it will come back to us or not. That was the money part. But apart from that, all the drivers, we call drivers, our employees, we call them drivers. So some of the drivers physically went during that COVID period to help that guy out, so that he shifted from one hospital to another, a better facility, and he is taken care of. And I would proudly say that whatever we kind of as money, as emotion that we invested in them, they have kind of given back twice, thrice, multiple times actually. And I'm happy to say that that person is still working with us and making great designs for us. So
that's so nice. Yeah. I mean, that's beautiful to hear, because during COVID, काफी established companies from MNCs to Indian MNCs were letting people go, were cutting down on salaries, and whereas a young company like you, I think you all would be what, 3 years old?
Yeah, 3 years.
And you all were still not only paying but going beyond your limits to service your employees.
So that's the way that I have believed always in life, and my conscience would not have allowed me to kind of let them go at that point of time, because I just believe that this is going to go further. I mean, bad times go away. I mean, and only thing that the belief that you have in the company, the culture in the company remains for ages. And you have to set example for that. I mean, it's not a written word that you say and people believe it. So we stood by that belief, because just 2 months before the COVID, we were saying that you are part of the family, and suddenly you leave the family alone. You don't do that. So that's the belief in the company, and that's how we operate till today.
So Chandan, tell us about why this name Urban Tribe.
So when we started this brand, we were looking at what problem we're going to solve and what difference we're going to make. We saw that most of the brand that at that point of time was giving one bag fits all kind of scenario. So you take one bag and you use it for your office, your vacation, your holidays and stuff like that. And also one bag is for everybody for that matter. Somebody who's traveling by bike, somebody who's traveling by metro, somebody who's traveling by car. So we wanted to kind of look at the urban kind of setting, and we wanted to provide meaningful solution to their problems of urban commuters. So that's why we said it has to be Urban Tribe. And Urban Tribe, when we looked at Urban Tribe, we said that this persona, let's say if you think about the persona, this person is going to be a good Samaritan, who is, let's say, if he's going by a bike, if he finds somebody who has kind of been met with an accident, he stops and helps that guy. So that's the guy that we had in mind. So we were thinking about that. That's the urban tribe that we want to have in this country. And also, what we mean by tribes, that we can define the tribes. Let's say you may be a person who obviously you go to the corporate world and you want to go to the gym also, and so you are an active person. Somebody who may be a biker, so every tribe has a very, very specific need. So we wanted to kind of identify those tribes. Somebody is a gamer, so his requirements are very different in terms of the travel accessories. So we wanted to kind of give a specific solution to those tribers also. So that's why urban tribe.
Usually an entrepreneur's values mission is something which becomes an organization values mission and purpose, right? How does that resonate in your brand?
So I'll tell you, bull is the icon for the brand.
Right.
And that probably resonates what I am and what I have come to being, and what the company is and what the brand is. So essentially, it's a bull. Bull remains in the tribe. So they if you see them, that they are with the herd actually. So they are not individualistic that I am the hero, मैं ही सबसे बड़ा हूँ, ऐसा नहीं, वो साथ में रहेंगे. दूसरा ये है कि आप वो किसी से पंगा नहीं लेते हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि आप वो बिना मतलब के किसी को जाके धक्का मार रहे हैं. बट इफ यू गो एंड लेट्स से काइंड ऑफ पोक देम, तो वो आपको परेशान कर देंगे. उसमें इतनी ताकत है. तो सो दैट्स व्हाट इट इज, दैट्स व्हाट डिफाइंस अस. सो वो कंपनी मैं वो सारा रेजोनेट करता है.
Nobody should poke you, that means.
Not in aggressive way, obviously, yeah.
You might look very nice, simple, down to earth, but if somebody pokes you, you're gonna hit them hard.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about maintaining the difference in your finances, or basically segregating finances from your personal to your commitment towards your new business that you're starting. And I'm sure that's the time जब mental health भी काफी toll लेता है. What were those kind of challenges if you faced, if there was any, and how did you really manage those mindset challenges?
I'll tell you, probably I'll take few more time to kind of give perfect answer to it. More time in the sense, few more years.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that way.
Having said that, obviously you learn to manage it. So I mean, probably I'll just be overstating things what is obvious, but I'll say this again. Entrepreneur के life में क्या होता है, मेरे life में आप देखिए, urban tribe I think all the time. It may be branding, it may be sales, it may be vendor management, it may be delivery management. It's a very, very different thing than what you do in a corporate life. Corporate life, once you switch off, switch on.
Yeah.
Switching off doesn't happen in entrepreneur world. What helped me to a certain extent is that while I was in this company, my child was growing up, and I have a son. Now he's into 11, and I'm also a sports fan. I mean, I follow a lot of sports actually. And obviously it passes on to the next generation. So he also follows sports, and I just said you should have a hobby to kind of get your mind off, so that you become productive next day or productive for the work, and take tension off your mind. So if I would not say that I have handled it 100% well, but probably I have a solution to it, that if you have something which can take your mind off, and that too also physically, is far better. So I tend to play with my son. And that helps me kind of forget about what I'm doing. Otherwise, you overthink about things, and it doesn't help anybody.
True. When you indulge in some kind of activity, it is the good way to shift your mind from where you are present. And in a way, आपका जो बोलते हैं cortisol level goes down, and the stress reduces, and you're more productive for the next inning.
Absolutely. So when physically, that's what I'm saying. You have to physically, if you are active. And good that obviously the childs are active any which way, so they force
keep
you to
you active.
They keep you active.
True.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurial journey is usually about highs, lows, some mistakes, some small good wins also at times. Was there a moment when you thought, oh, this is the biggest mistake I did, and that did cost you a lot? Specifically during beginning, when you're just learning and being an entrepreneur?
It did come in the very beginning actually. It came after two to 3 years. I mean, initially I took all the challenges like this in my stride, and along with the team we kind of went ahead with it. But during COVID, the moment COVID started, we said what to do now. I mean, and we obviously we had the facility to do the COVID related stuff, which is the mask and stuff like that, and we had to supply that to organizations, and we were not able to do on time because of all the logistic problems, and then that's when we lost a lot of money over there, which made you feel that okay, one is that we are not doing business, and secondly we are doing losses over there. So that was a very low point of time because you're not able to do anything. I mean, at that point in time, so we're hands were tied. People were not able to move out. Although a lot of some of the employees took an effort to kind of open the factories, which also took a little while. So that period was very, very low, if you ask me frankly. We made losses at that point in time. In hindsight, I would say that I should not have gone into something which we not very sure about. But entrepreneurship is about trying, and you learn from all the tries that you do.
Right.
Yeah.
But did you all feel that point in time ki, arey yaar, the solution came much later for you, but what if I would have not done it, or there would have been something XYZ? Was there an alternative which came later, which could be like a prerequisite for not happening what happened at that point in time in terms of losses?
So I mean, it was the decision making. I mean, and you take, so as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of things that you can do differently if you go back in time. But you take a lot of decisions because a lot of time you're taking decisions on your own. Obviously, the team is there to support you, but you should take a call. I mean, you can't stand still. So if you ask me, had I stood still, probably I would not have been here. We just took a call. Let's go ahead. So I would say I don't regret it, if you ask me frankly. And obviously we can do certain things in a different way, which may be more profitable for us. But primary thing is that to move ahead. And entrepreneurs and any business for that matter, you have to move ahead. You just can't stagnate yourself.
Right.
And that's for the customer also. Customer also has to know, boss, you're moving ahead. You have not stagnated. So that's the most important part.
Right. Let's go back to your journey 8-9 years back.
Yeah.
Was there a belief which now you think was not a necessary belief? Made you like feel doubtful or imposter syndrome then, but now it doesn't exist? Could be anything else also.
I should have been more prepared in a certain way, certain learning in terms of when you're in a corporate world, you're shielded by a lot of things. I mean, you have a system in place. You're supposed to do a certain task. Correct. Even if you're a business head, still there are a lot of things that you don't do on your own. There is a backing that is there.
Correct.
Realizing those things. Also, a lot of things that you don't learn automatically, like say financial angles. So I may be great at, let's say, handling the people. I may be great at doing the retailing and the marketing, but probably finances may be something which is a part which maybe I may not understand initially, or investment I don't understand initially. I may not know all the VCs initially, which is for an entrepreneur to be very successful, you can't be jack of, I mean you can't be master of one and you don't know about others. Right. The problem with entrepreneur that they have to know everything. They have to be good at everything.
Indulge in everything.
And you have to be good at everything. Yeah. Obviously, after a point, then you build up a team and stuff like that. That helps you a bit. But you have to be good at everything. So probably if I would say that if I had a belief that okay, I'm good at this, I'll be able to sail through by hook or crook. I'm able to say by just sheer moving forward, we are able to kind of reach this stage. But if I had learnt about certain aspects of business, probably that would have been far better.
And VC is by default needed to, make your business grow, or there is other way around also to make your business grow?
Obviously there are other ways to do it also. But it's the nature of the business also. Some of the businesses which require a certain amount of funds to grow, which let's say in our case, we require working capital to grow, which let's say you have to keep 3-4 5 months of stock or working capital to kind of grow the market. Right. Probably the profits will not be enough to kind of fund that kind of growth. Right. Because you probably are growing at 100% growth rate, and your own fund will not be suffice to service the market. So in that case, you definitely require support from outside with the like-minded people. So yes, I mean, I would say in our kind of industry, if you want to grow the brand, you definitely require some bit of support from the investors.
And to know more, because I have heard many people striving for investors, but they have not got really. They say कि यार मुझे कोई मिला नहीं अभी तक जो मेरे business को fund करे. So is there a advice or a strategy that would you like to share it with people who are listening, who will be listening? What is that VC look for, and what they should aim so that that can really impress a VC to fund in their business?
So probably say what I've kind of encountered with the VCs and how I see that investor look at. One is, so in initial, say there are phases of investments. So initially, when you are a year old or 2 year old, the money is put on the on the promoters, and for the matter, even for the first 5 years also for your business, the investment happens on the promoter. Business obviously. So every industry has a business, I mean, food industry, travel industry, apparel industry, footwear industry. Some may be very obvious, some may not be obvious, but all of them are doing the business, and you will see that investment is coming to all the sectors. But it's the promoter which is the most important factor. So I would say that if the promoter, I'm not saying promoter per se as a personality, but promoter, they are looking at the promoter, how he is thinking, how he's building the team, what his thoughts are. So one single example, if I don't have to be very elaborate, then it's the promoter that they are betting on.
So what clarity a promoter drives, and what's the vision of the promoter is something which VC would like to.
Yes, they are looking at because all the money, they understand that every business can be a good business, every business can fail also in the same industry. That's how it works. But they are betting on that guy. Any business will become successful if that guy has a perseverance. Any promoter, I mean, if you survive for long enough, you'll make it. So that's the whole fundamental. If they are looking at one aspect of the business, obviously business acumen is definitely the one. That's why he is kind of joining hands with you. Second, probably he's trying to see that whether that guy has perseverance or not. क्या वो एक आंधी आया तो उड़ तो नहीं गया या उड़ तो नहीं जाएगा.
Correct. That's why we say that 90% of people fail during the first 2 years of.
That's what I'm saying. So उसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ होंगे. घर में I mean, he's not able to kind of manage finances, manage team, manage setbacks for the XYZ reasons. But perseverance is something which is, if you promoter and within the promoter, obviously the business angle is definitely there. But मुझे लगता है कि perseverance एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो कि वो लोग देखते ही देखते हैं.
So perseverance, where does it come from within you?
So मैं तो ये बोलूँगा कि मेरे में अगर आप पूछ रहे हो तो मुझे आगे बढ़ते रहना था. और अगर आप मेरी जर्नी देखोगे तो मैं गांव से एक शहर में आया जहाँ की मैं हॉस्टल में था, एक छोटे से हॉस्टल एंड वहाँ से फिर सूरत आया. और ऑन माई ओन आई हैव बीन हियर इन बॉम्बे फॉर लास्ट 20 years नाउ. तो मेरी जर्नी वैसी रही. तो मुझे आई एम ओके विथ इट. मुझे किसी से डर नहीं लगता. और मेहनत करने से मैं भागता नहीं हूँ. और मुझे लगता है कि अगर आप मेहनत करोगे किसी चीज़ को और रिपीट करोगे उस चीज़ को तो आप आगे बढ़ोगे. तो मुझे छोड़ना अच्छा नहीं लगता. छोड़ के भाग जाना अच्छा नहीं लगता. तो you persevere with and if you know that this is the right direction, once you know the right direction, then you persevere with it. आप छोड़ो मत उसको.
So आप ये बोलना चाह रहे हो that comes with knowing your goal, then clarity towards your goal, and hence you can be a person who has a perseverance in him or her, right? Because अगर वो clarity नहीं है तो then you are running in various directions, and then of course whatever you're just throwing stones in the dark.
So once you have to know that कि एक कोई चीज़ आपकी काम कर गई, आपको मालूम है कि ये काम करना चालू हो गया, आपको कस्टमर से फीडबैक अच्छे आने चालू हो गए, अगर सेल थ्रूज आना चालू हो गया, तो वो हमें मालूम चल गया था कि पहले 1-2 साल 6 महीने में कि हाँ चीज़ें सही जा रही हैं. हम अमेजोन पे हमारे टॉप 20 में 4 हमारे बैग्स आ गए थे. तो हमको मालूम था कि ये चीज़ें क्लिक होनी चालू हो गई हैं. ओबियसली इनिशियली ये गो विद बिलीव कि होगा ऐसा, बट होना चालू हो गया. तो हमको लगा कि हाँ हमने जो सोचा था वो सही सोचा था. अब इसको आगे जाना है. ओबियसली सेटबैक्स वर देयर, सम मंथ्स वर गुड, सम मंथ्स वर बैड, बट मुझे लगता है कि एक सिंगल क्वालिटी अगर सर्वाइव करने की और आगे बढ़ाने की तो वो वही होगा.
एंड when we think about brand, what it takes to build a brand, because 9 years back, the Urban Tribe was just a company, right? It's just a title of a company, and you're the holder of the company or the founder of the company. There are many founders outside in India. Even आज हम मुंबई में मैं खुद कितने founders and entrepreneurs को जानती हूँ. हर कोई अपने company को brand नहीं बोल सकता.
Sure.
Right? So what it takes to build a brand?
So one is that so it has to be true to the customer. ब्रांड आप बना रहे हो किसके लिए? कस्टमर के लिए बना रहे हो. If customer अंडरस्टैंड कि आप क्या ऑफर कर रहे हो और उससे वो रिलेट कर पा रहा है तो वो ब्रांड बनेगा. और हमारा हमेशा से, जब अर्बन ट्राइब हमने लॉन्च किया तो हमारा हमेशा से था कि हम कस्टमर को ध्यान में रखेंगे. अब जैसे एक जो हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो एक स्पेसिफिक कस्टमर को लेके हम डीप रिसर्च करते हैं और उसकी ज़रूरतों को समझ के फिर हम उसको आगे उसको एक प्रोडक्ट बना के देते हैं. और वो उससे सोचते कि कस्टमर रिलेट कर सके, बिकॉज हमने उनके लिए बनाया है. हमने ऐसा नहीं बनाया कि हमें अच्छा लग रहा है तो हमने कुछ भी दे दिया. डीप रिसर्च के साथ हमने बना के दिया है. तो मुझे लगता है कि वो एक चीज़ है जिस कारण से हम यहाँ तक पहुँच पाए हैं. वो वही एक फैक्टर कि हम कस्टमर का सोच के, कस्टमर सेंट्रिक अप्रोच जो रहा है हमारा, उस कारण से ये ब्रांड बना है.
सो अब आपकी रिसर्च टीम है.
Yes.
You have an R&D team who does this, persona working for, profiling for your customer base, the right customer base.
Yeah. So
yes, no, over to you.
So हम obviously हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं और उसके बाद हम रिसर्च करते हैं कि उनकी ज़रूरतें क्या हैं. What's in your backpack? Let's say, and what is your requirements? हम जैसे फीमेल जो वर्क फोर्स से हम बात की, हम उसको वुमेन ट्राइब बोलते हैं. तो उनका हमने रिसर्च किया. तो हमसे पूछा कि भाई और रिसर्च किया तो एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग फाइंडिंग आई कि ऑन एन एवरेज जो वुमेन ट्राइब है जो कॉर्पोरेट में काम करती है वो तीन लगेज एक साथ लेके जाती हैं. एक बैग, माने एक मैसेंजर लैपटॉप के लिए एक बैग होता है, एक उनके पास लंच के लिए होता है और एक उनके पास पर्स होता है. और आप उनको देखिए वो कैसे स्ट्रगल करती हैं. आप समझ सकती हैं कि पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट में क्या स्ट्रगल कर रही होंगी एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. तो उनको एक सोल्यूशन देना होता है. तो हमने एक बैग बनाया जिसमें कि वो तीनों की ज़रूरतें एक साथ ख़त्म हो जाएं.
वंडरफुल.
So likewise, let's say somebody who's active, let's say he wants to go to the gym. अगर वो और प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि बहुत सारे लोग जो एक्टिव लोग जो जिम जाना चाहते हैं वो चंदा दे के छोड़ देते हैं और जा नहीं पाते हैं. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि वो दो लगेज कैसे ले जाएं, तो हमने वो रिसर्च करके फिर उनके लिए एक बैग बनाया जिसमें कि आप जिम का भी चीज़ ले जा सकते हो और ऑफिस का भी ले जा सकते हो. सो यू कैन स्ट्रेट अवे फ्रॉम योर ऑफिस यू कैन गो टू द जिम.
दैट्स वंडरफुल.
सो वी आर गिविंग दोज काइंड ऑफ सोल्यूशन. ऑल्सो लॉट ऑफ पीपल वांट टू टेक होम मेड फूड, बट उनको माने वो सुविधा नहीं है. दो चीज़ कैसे ले जाएं, अगेन बाइक पे, पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट में. तो वी क्रिएटेड अ बैग विच हैज़ द slot inside where let's say you can insert your tiffin bag, and a tiffin bag, we give the tiffin bag along with it. We have extra protection so that your gravy, it doesn't, anyway, so that is spill proof, but still extra protection we have given there.
Wonderful.
So we do deep research and that's why we are able to communicate to the consumers,
You've created a great product, you've done a research. How do you really market your brand? Because शुरू से तो आप market नहीं कर पाओगे. You have to build your base, and this is specifically in terms of when if somebody is building a brand or trying to build a brand, how would they should look in terms of advertising or creating that image outside in the market?
So in our case, we were only focused on the digital market. So we listed our product on Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra and all. And we became successful over there. Our product started having traction, and that helped us to kind of build the brand, which has an effect on our corporate business and distribution business and all. So I would say, in short, if I have to tell you, I think whoever is starting small should concentrate on one small market and try to maximize it, so that they understand that market and they are able to kind of be the master of that small market, which may be digital, maybe if they want to go offline also, maybe there may be certain reason that they want to kind of do the mastery at. तो मुझे लगता है कि छोटे सेगमेंट से छोटे मार्केट को में to become the master of that will be the most important thing.
Yeah, so have your niche is important.
Yeah, be the best in the niche. Yeah.
Just, going back to this idea, because again, when you start your journey, there's so much of mental, your mindset needs to be aligned towards your goal. And हमने बात की कि clarity is something which drives your, keeps you going every now and then. And today, when we look at mindset or the mental health as a question when it comes to whether you are at a leadership position or you are an entrepreneur, mental health does take a toll. And today, even 14-year-old child is going through mental health challenges. And WHO has announced that next it will not be a COVID, because we spoke about COVID, it will be a mental pandemic. What are your thoughts around it? And were there a moment for you also?
No, so there are many moments actually. If you ask me, COVID, throughout the COVID, there were many moments where, let's say, I felt helpless. मुझे लगता था कि अगले महीने हम पे कैसे करेंगे? Because COVID also became endless, at time. तो उसको overcome करने के लिए you have stressful nights, primarily because you are not able to do anything. So stress comes from the point where, let's say, आप कुछ कर नहीं पाते हैं. अगर आप कुछ कर पाते हैं तो stress कम हो जाता है. Also, in our case, kind of that was a very low point for almost about 2 years when, let's say, हम कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे थे और मुझे मालूम नहीं था कि हम next day करेंगे क्या. Probably थोड़े बहुत मुझे जो हेल्प हुआ मुझे एक तरीके से, जो कि हमारी बिलीव थी कि हम सारी टीम मेंबर्स को एक फैमिली की तरह ट्रीट किया. और obviously there is you are lonely at the top, that is there, I mean, that is still there. I would not say, I don't deny it, but I have kind of entrusted people with their responsibilities, and I trusted them so much that in terms of कि उनकी जो responsibility वो करेंगे वो काम. सो अगर आप मुझसे पूछेंगे कि कोविड के टाइम में मैं फैक्ट्री कितनी बार गया, मैं बहुत कम बार गया, लेकिन मेरी टीम थी वहाँ पे और उन्होंने हैंडल किया, उन्होंने प्रोडक्शन किया. इट्स बिकॉज दैट कि हमने उनको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी थी, तो वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उन्होंने रिपोज की कि भाई हम करके भी देंगे. सो आई थिंक दैट कि इन एंटरप्रेन्योर जर्नी अगर आप मुझसे पूछेंगे, मुझे लगता है कि एक तो लोनली टॉप वाली बात है, लेकिन अगर हमने कोर टीम को अगर हमने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डिवाइड की है और हम उनको ट्रस्ट करते हैं, ट्रस्ट इन द ट्रू सेंस, जबकि आप उनका स्ट्रेस भी आप लेके नहीं बैठे हो, तो एटलीस्ट थोड़ा तो मैनेज कर पाएंगे आप. आई एम नॉट से यू गो 100%, बट एटलीस्ट एवरी सिंगल प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट योर प्रॉब्लम. दे आर कैपेबल इनफ, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर इन द टीम, तो वो आपको हेल्प करेंगे टू हैंडल इट. So I would say that that's the way that probably I've been able to kind of manage it to large extent. But I would say that this is a very pertinent point that you have raised, and I think that that has to be kind of focus on and the debate about. There has to be talk about the mental health. Because at the end of the day, what you are is what your mentally is. Right. So if you're good at that, और आपका अच्छा दिमाग चल रहा है, आप mentally sharp हो, आप काम कर पाओगे. There is nothing more, nothing less to it actually. There's nothing more important than your health. One is that physical health and obviously mental health also.
I mean, it's so important that we talk about mental health today, and especially आज जब हम अपने एजुकेशन सिस्टम में बात करते हैं कि there has to be yoga, there has to be taekwondo has become like a by default, and कोई भी स्कूल में आप चले जाइए. Why not something which takes child from very starting, something which relates to mindset, which they don't realize it, but it becomes part of their curriculum.
Yeah.
We go to MBA colleges, we go to best of degree colleges, and we learn so many things, but we don't learn the skills of how to handle your mindset.
Yeah.
I think that is something which I believe that really needs a lot of debate, conversation, and an implementation also.
But I would add to this that one should definitely kind of learn this sooner the better. You spoke about the child, you spoke about teens and everybody, an entrepreneur, you're talking to me. I think there is nothing that you can't overcome. Mental health, obviously there will be science to it, and there should be curriculum also. I mean, I'm happy that you're talking about it. Anything and everything that I do here is related to the mental health. I mean, I'm not something that I'm not going to make lakh of bag that we make every month. Okay. I don't do that. I mean, physically it's not possible. If let's say if the company has to grow, I have to be mentally fit and fine and sharp and agile. So more I understand about mind, my mind better for the company. And so that's true for every entrepreneur, every person in the corporate world actually.
I mean, that's what defines a leader, I think, whether we talk about entrepreneur leader or a leader in the corporate organization. And we love to follow those people who have self-awareness, because self-awareness also I kind of feel, because I come from that experience, and I feel that that also raises your emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
और जब तक आपको खुद के बारे में ही नहीं पता तो आप इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट कैसे होंगे, एंड हाउ विल यू बिकम अ बेटर लीडर फॉर योर टीम मेंबर्स. And that's where, you know, there's always a debate between, you know, he's a good leader or he's a bad leader. And I think you mentioned a very beautiful point of trust in true sense. That's what defines you as a leader, when the other person is not forced to follow you. And that's how you also create trust, because they have all the rights to say this is wrong, this is right. At the same time, they believe in the responsibility, they believe in your goals and vision, and they're ready to follow you.
So what happens that once you trust them, you don't have to force everything upon them. Like, okay, I mean, there are times that when they have to work overnight. So in that scenario, you don't have to tell them, no, today you will have to work. They take their responsibility. They're responsible. You trusted them with that task. They do it on their own. Obviously, I mean, you have to have the meetings. You have to understand that what kind of path they have to go. But at the end of the day, they only decide that, okay, this is the task to achieve that goal. So you don't have to force everything upon them every single time that you have to get the work out of them. So trust, as you rightly said, among the team members, if the trust is there, I think the level of mental tension that is there, stress that is there in the team will go down. So yeah, I mean, I would say that, and we have consciously taken that kind of call in terms that where, let's say, Diwali is there, and there are a lot of times that we have, let's say, last minute deliveries, and it's stressful because you have to, client is there or retailer is there when you have to kind of meet the deadline to reach the warehouses and stuff like that. We make it a point that even the person who is there at the delivery point or the production point is called upon and told that, okay, boss, we are there with you. Tell us what support you require. So yeah, so that have helped us out to kind of stay afloat and have the people who is there in the longer period of time in the team. Otherwise, stress kind of breaks the team also. Correct.
And there is an opportunity, people will think, yeah, nahi to chalo kahin aur kar. How do you build trust as a leader?
Trust as a leader in terms of say giving the responsibility and kind of giving the right feedback and trusting them fully. I mean, say if you give the responsibility, you trust them to deliver the task. And obviously, and then it's the feedback mechanism that kind of makes it. So you kind of publicly appreciate their good work and privately kind of उसको डांट पड़नी तो privately आप डांटो और उसको सिखाओ जो सिखाना है. That's the way that we have grown. So also in our company, we have not gone for all high flyers, obviously, and we couldn't afford it also, but we haven't gone that way also because we knew, as I rightly said, कि perseverance लगेगा कंपनी को survive कराने में. मुझे मालूम था कि एक दिन में सक्सेस नहीं होने वाली है, कुछ ना कुछ तकलीफें आएंगी और हमें नहीं टूटना. तो वी वांटेड मजबूत गाइज कि अरे यार ऐसा नहीं कि अच्छा मौसम जहाँ रहा वहाँ चले गए, वैसे लोग नहीं चाहिए थे हमें. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी टेकन दोज guys who are tough in terms of mentally, I'm just saying. Correct. And we tell them, boss, I mean, there will be times, I mean, I may not be tough to you, but the client will be tough to you. I mean, उनको बोलेंगे, will you able to handle it? And be ready to handle it. मैंने होता है भाई, मैंने and if you're true to what work that you're doing, communicate well, and तो mental stress थोड़ा कम होगा. I'm not saying that कि हमारे stress नहीं रहा है, but we have been supportive to the people. भाई कैसे उसको कम किया जाए.
Wonderful. You mentioned that coming from the marketing side, you did your market understanding, and that's where you came into bag as a business, right? Today, if you have to advise, which is the category you think one should enter into?
So, in terms of I would frankly believe in this, that any category is good if somebody wants to kind of get into it. only point that is that, as I said, is that they have to start small. That is the first criteria, to start small. And a second would be that has to have the perseverance. Only it is overnight success can't be there. I mean, if you feel some of the companies, we take an example that they have grown, let's say, to billion valuation in certain amount of time. It's good for them, but that's not the real and kind of data that is there. If you take the whole bunch of all the entrepreneurs, all startups, that's not the real data. It takes certain amount of time to kind of you to become successful. So I would say that in terms of categories, there are a lot of categories which is doing well at this point in time. You take the food, so anything that where, let's say, you are able to solve the consumer's problem. That's where you should be. And if you are solving in any category, for the matter, food is obviously booming, fashion is also booming. India at this point in time is doing well,
Right.
Barring, let's say, few blips here and there,
Correct.
which is always there. But by and far, it's doing well. And if you look at the startups that are there, you have across the industry, you have in AI, you have in fashion, you have in food, you have in stock markets and stuff like that. So I would say that people who want to start and say कि अरे ये category करना है, I think they should go by what they know, rather than choosing that कि आज मैं SaaS में जाऊँगा और आज AI में जाऊँगा.
Correct.
So वैसा.
Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, then you're trying to reinvent a wheel,
Yeah.
rather you know something and
Yeah.
get deeper into it.
And today there is an opportunity in everything. And you look at the kind of YouTube that has kind of grown, and it has given birth to the number of industries. It's not only YouTube. I mean, there are people within that. They're in the food. I mean, you're doing a great job. I mean, in terms of kind of disseminating the knowledge about the mental health. So, and there are a lot to be done. I'm here. I mean,
Absolutely.
similar ways I'm saying. I mean, if I know something, which is I know fashion, I understand the retail, I retail the brand, I should be here. I shouldn't be jumping around and doing AI for that matter.
What if somebody wants to start a business today? What is the kind of amount they would need? What is the good amount they should be having in hand to start a business rather?
So I would say that they should start with anything that they want to do. 2 साल का उनके पास रहना चाहिए run rate, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
So
you
it depends on
mentioned it previously also.
what I want to do, and then I would say that चलो मैं 2 साल के लिए आपके पास कुछ भी नहीं तो 1 से 1.5 साल का रन रेट तो मैं के हिसाब से आपके पास उतने पैसे होने चाहिए. अदरवाइज वो क्या होगा ना, 6 महीने के बाद आप सडनली कोल्ड फिट डेवलप हो जाएगा और फिर काम नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो obviously it will depend on the kind of business that you are into, because like a lot of business like AI and all and stuff like that, it requires humongous kind of investment because that's the nature of the business. But whatever it may be, if you want to have a successful and rate of success has to be higher, then 1 से 1.5 साल का होराइजन का पैसा तो आपके पास होना चाहिए.
हाँ, तो मतलब उतना कैलकुलेशन करके रखो
हाँ.
कि 2 साल तक you don't know what will happen.
हाँ, मिनिमम
उतने
1 साल तो होना चाहिए. 1 से 1.5 साल
वैसा,
का तो आपको होराइजन आपको दिखना ही चाहिए.
Correct. Today, if you wanted to start an urban tribe, what is the amount that you would look for having the first 2 years?
So now with my knowledge, I think that I can scale up faster.
हाँ.
So probably I'll require, say, initially मुझे अगर at any point in time, and I can take on with the knowledge that I have now, but I would require, let's say, about 50 crores, so that within a year or two I can take on the biggest player in this industry.
Nice. And if we have to ask, what legacy would you like Urban Tribe to leave behind?
So I would say that Urban Tribe has to be remembered as for the consumer and for that tribe as their own brand. Somebody who understood their need and gave them the best solution that is possible.
So changing with the time as what is needed. Abhi jo chahiye, Urban Tribe should be able to.
Yeah.
adapt
So
to
let's say
it.
if the gamer is a tribe, let's say put it that way, and he required let's say a traveling companion, he should look for Urban Tribe के यहाँ gamer का सबसे अच्छा bag मिलेगा मुझे, like the one that is kept behind, which has, when we have done all the research and kind of given all the facility. Same goes for Active Tribe. We have created beautiful products for them. So I would like for them to be remembered. I mean, Urban Tribe to be remembered as somebody who is gives the best solution for that tribe in a hyper functional way.
Has success, the definition of success, changed for you?
So in a sense, yes. I mean, I would say that there's two ways. I mean, one is that obviously I wanted the urban tribe to be self-sustainable, which is obviously and not only for me, for employees, for stakeholders, it should give back to them, for everybody who has invested their time, money, effort. It should give back to them. That one success example that definitely is there. But overall, while doing this, you have to be happy about it. In the life, you have to, whatever you're doing, obviously you need a certain amount of money also to be happy, but you have to be happy about it. You should enjoy what you're doing while creating something fantastic as Urban Tribe.
So let me ask a little tricky question. You said that 50 crores and all, but what if you just get 1,000 rupees to start Urban Tribe? How would you go about it?
So, say one is you have the idea. You know how to go about doing it. You understand the whole value chain, whole supply chain. You understand your customer. Obviously, so you'll make it a success. More than money, obviously you have to have the idea. आप 1,000 crore भी दे दोगे तो कुछ होने वाला है नहीं. But you have to have the right idea to kind of build the brand. Obviously, with 1,000, I believe is a kind of just a symbol number that you're saying. But आप उस idea से मैंने पूरा महल बना सकते हो. साथ में लोग आएंगे. आप जो बोलते हैं ना कि आप आगे बढ़ते रहो अच्छे idea के साथ, कारवां जुड़ती जाएगी साथ में, तो वो होगा.
If today you have to pitch your brand, how would you pitch?
So
let's take this as an elevator pitch for you. How would you give your elevator pitch?
Say Urban Tribe is a go-to lifestyle brand which makes hyper-functional bags for urban commuters by giving the best solution that is to be given to them. Urban Tribe itself has now synonymous to all the tribers. Tribers, what I mean is the active tribe, gamer tribe, or women tribe. We are giving them the best solution that is there possible in the travel accessories. And at this point in time, the company is kind of well entrenched in online market, distribution market. We are exporting at this point in time. Our supply chain is robust, and we are fully 100% Make in India brand. Our supply chain is not dependent on any other country per se. And at this point of time, our foot in the door across all the channels, and company is poised to grow exponentially with the market that is there and with the brand that has been built.
So if I have to ask you one question, describe your entrepreneurial journey in a Bollywood style.
Say, I would say that this is primarily, I think if I have to kind of relate to it with a movie probably, it would be the MS Dhoni, the biopic that has come. Where let's say, he started from a small town, Ranchi, and it's a very relatable story to me actually, and I can relate to it. When I saw the movie, and although I like Dhoni a lot, and who doesn't like him, but that's the story very likable. He started from somewhere, and he is not that उसको ऐसे जाके किसी को धक्का मार के आगे बढ़ना पड़ा. He has done his job in a very very dignified manner, with lot of finish, बहुत इज्जत से, और वो आगे बढ़ा मेहनत से, सबको साथ में लेके. I would relate to that, and similar to that story, my parents has given me a very very good kind of जो संस्कार बोलते हैं उन्होंने दिया है. और वहाँ से उठ के मुझे लगता है कि और मज़ा आता है उसमें कि अब सबको साथ में लेके और अच्छे से और वहाँ से ग्रो कर तो और मज़ा है. I'm saying कि I tell him the story from the beginning कि how I come from a certain place and how kind of have been the journey. And journey has been great actually.
Yes.
So yes, I relate a lot with MS Dhoni if you can.
Do you believe in this idea कि destination से ज़्यादा important journey होती है?
Absolutely. That though I 100% believe it, because another thing that I say that boss, you shouldn't be retiring. That's a philosophy. I mean, once you retire, you're counting your days कि किस दिन मरने वाला हूँ. So that's a problem. So अगर आप then you are doing a journey only. So if you're doing journey, might as well live it well. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है कि अभी 1-2 साल ना बहुत तकलीफ से मैं लाइफ जीऊँगा और इतनी मेहनत करके करूँगा और फिर गोइंग मैं इतने में रिटायर करूँगा तब जाके आराम करूँगा, बिकॉज वो होता नहीं है. So rather I would, personally I would like to kind of die on my work only. so that might as well enjoy the journey that is there and be with the people. अकेले में क्या मजा है, you know. So yeah, so I'm absolutely right. Journey is the most important thing. I mean, you live life daily. It's not कि आप 2 साल बाद खुश होने वाले हो.
Right. So we spoke about so many things, about your life journey, your challenges, challenges during COVID period, what you have done to get your business where it is today. So we've tried learning so many things out of you, even the leadership skill that is needed to drive a company. Tell me 3 things that one should not do in an entrepreneurial journey.
There are a few things that obviously, you should avoid. Is not to not communicate with the team members. You may be going through the problem. As I said, entrepreneur is about kind of overcoming the obstacles that you face early in your in the entrepreneurial journey. उसे मुझे लगता है कि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो एक पहली चीज़ होगी कि हम कभी कम्युनिकेट कभी नहीं करते अपनी टीम मेंबर से. तो मुझे लगता है कि वो अपने आप में सारी चीज़ें रखना इज़ नॉट अ राइट थिंग. तो हमें 100% हमको कम्युनिकेट करना चाहिए. Second is that ki not trusting the team ki I am the smartest guy in this kind of whole team, and I'll be the only guy who would be able to do it. Nobody else cares about it. You will have to build the team and you have to trust the team.
Right.
And third is that ki every जो सबसे important जो चीज़ है जो कि बार-बार हमारे डिस्कशन में आई है कि एक जो छोटा सा ऑब्स्टिकल आया, आप उस समय अगर रास्ता बदल दोगे तो वो सही चीज़ नहीं है, फिर एंटरप्रेन्योर जर्नी होगी ही नहीं, वो बिल्डअप नहीं हो पाएगी. तो पहला हवा का झोंका आने पे अगर आप हट जाते हो तो वो सही नहीं है. तो आई थिंक ये 3 चीज़ मुझे लगता है कि ऑफ हैंड मुझे ऐसा महसूस होता है कि ये 3 चीज़ होनी चाहिए.
Wonderful. I think this is a great conversation we had. And here we close our conversation for today. We learned a lot about entrepreneur journey, leadership skills, and how to start your business as well. Or, probably how to think of starting a business or how to be prepared to start a business.
I'm very happy that and I came on your podcast and I learned a lot from you also. And I'm happy to share my experience that I have gone through my entrepreneurial journey and my life also. So I'm very happy and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And that's how we close this show today. And please tune in for more. Like, subscribe.